What's going on, guys? Wanted to hop on today and talk about what I saw in the markets today on NASDAQ. It was a no trade day, but I still wanted to take the opportunity to walk through why it was a no trade day for me and some of the red flags that I saw going over intermarket alignment and analysis and being able to understand why shorting opportunities were not a good choice for today's session. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting on the daily chart of NASDAQ, last week we had this large run higher after the news of the ceasefire in the Middle East, and we finished the week near that buy side liquidity, resting at 25,495. We failed to reach that, and to start this week, we opened up with a gap lower, testing the upper quadrant of this daily fair value gap that was created during the run up last week. Dropping down to a 15-minute chart, you can see transposed down onto the 15-minute chart that daily BISI high, that daily fair value gap high. We gap down into it, respect the upper quadrant, and slowly start to work higher. During the overnight session, we really didn't manipulate beneath any swing low. So this whole move up is kind of just a bit suspect for me when I get to the charts this morning. And also keep in mind that this is a no news Monday after we gap down into that daily fair value gap. So I want to be a little bit more demanding of price this morning as we go into the New York 930 open. Dropping down to a 5-minute chart, we can see here that just before the market open, 930 open, we run lower, clearing out some form of sell side liquidity, still staying above that midnight open. So we're remaining in a premium. And also, while the market is moving lower, manipulating lower beneath this sell side liquidity and staying above the midnight open, some signs of bullishness here. And at the same time, the dollar index was rotating lower towards its daily sell side liquidity level that we'll get to a bit later. But if you have been keeping up with some of the previous videos that I've been posting, I've been anticipating lower prices on the dollar index, which is going to relieve pressure on the NASDAQ and S&P 500. It's going to allow them to gain more strength to the upside as the dollar index moves lower. So what I really wanted to see going into this morning is after we had this initial test of this daily fair value gap, I wanted to see a run lower at market open, preferably after 10 a.m. Into this sell side liquidity level, maybe manipulate a bit deeper beneath the midnight open. So we're in a bit of a discount before we run higher. And as we can see, based on this 5-minute chart right here, we open at 9:30. I don't have it annotated on this chart, but we open at 9:30 somewhere around here in this area. Drop down a little bit, still keeping this sell side liquidity level intact above the midnight open before running higher and filling this overnight gap. So I'm not really interested in longing anything up here after this large run up. Another thing that if you've been keeping up with some of the previous videos is we want to be buying in discount and selling in premium. So if I know if price is all the way up here and we haven't manipulated beneath any sell side liquidity yet, I am kind of viewing this as a suspect rally. And if we do continue to go higher, I'm expecting possible grinding action. And if you add on top of a no news Monday, if we don't get any manipulation, clear manipulation beneath sell side liquidity, and we just continue to grind higher, I'm viewing this as lower quality. This is a 1-minute chart. We can see that 9:30 open right here. We drop lower, remaining above the midnight open, failing to clear out sell side liquidity, and we create some relatively equal lows right here. So this sell side liquidity was what my eyes were on post 10 a.m. I wanted to see manipulation beneath the sell side liquidity. Not anticipating a run beneath the midnight open, but at least we would have a run on sell side liquidity beneath the 830 open. So that would be a little bit of okay confirmation for me to get along. But like I'm saying, I want to be longing in discount, especially as it's a no news Monday and price is in a bit of a premium after we gap down into the daily sell side liquidity. So since we don't get that move lower into the sell side liquidity beneath the 930 open sell side, we kind of just remain in this upper quadrant of this 1 minute fair value gap. And then we kind of just grind higher towards the regular trading hours buy side liquidity. This is the regular trading hours. We can see that this is the daily busy that price gapped down into in the overnight session, and then we ran higher. The midnight open is right here, and we can see that our gap lower from Friday's close. There's a nice size gap. Since we are bullish, I'm expecting the entirety of this gap to get ran through. If it was vice versa and we were bullish and we had a gap higher, I would expect the lower quadrant of that gap to remain open. But since we're bullish and I'm expecting higher prices as the dollar index rolls lower, I am expecting a full closure of this gap, which we got today. We can see we gap down beneath regular trading hours sell side liquidity, and after gapping lower in the sell side liquidity, we create this breakaway gap right here that remains open, and price is slowly grinding towards Friday's high of day. We went and took out the PM high, which was a good target to have if you did want to long this regular trading hour sell side liquidity. And then, like I said, after we reached this buy side liquidity from the regular trading hours PM session on Friday, we've kind of just been grinding higher. Price rebalances a little bit and then has just been grinding higher. This is the regular trading hours on the 1 minute chart. You can see we gap lower from Friday's close in a discount, taking out that regular trading hour sell side liquidity just before 10 a.m. At 9:45, around the 9:45, 9:50 to 10:10 macro starts. We have a run on this inversion fair value gap, and then we reprice all the way through that regular trading hours gap. And notice once we run on this buy side liquidity, the regular trading hours buy side liquidity, price began to just stall in this area. I know that some people were looking for shorts this morning, but I just thought shorts were a little bit lower quality because of the way that the dollar index had extreme weakness this morning going into the day. It gapped a bit higher and then started to move lower. So I just knew that with the intraday weakness of the dollar index, I knew that any rebalancing or shorting opportunity that came on NASDAQ and the S&P 500 was more than likely going to be short-lived. Here we have our dollar index on the daily chart. You can see that we have created some relatively equal lows. This sell side annotated right here, we had this low, couldn't take it out last week or the prior week, and we kind of just remained above that sell side liquidity, above this buy side or this daily busy. And then you can see we gapped higher to start the week on the dollar index, and then we moved lower back towards sell side liquidity. Dollar index here on the 15-minute chart showing the relative weakness after gapping higher. Price gaps higher. This entire new week opening gap is already being repriced into, and we can see that we're rolling towards these relatively equal lows down here to sell side liquidity. Lessons from today. No sell side liquidity manipulation before 10 a.m. NQ rallied higher at the open without manipulating in the sell side liquidity first. I'm not interested in shorts before 10 a.m. without that sweep confirmed. Like I was saying, there's really no reason to be shorting in this area with the relative weakness of the dollar index. I know that this is more than likely going to be short-lived, so I'd rather wait to see if we get a run on this sell side liquidity while we have some engineered buy side being created on the way down. That seemed like a better opportunity for me, and since we didn't get that, I just really wasn't interested in the shorts. Like I was saying, the dollar index weakness equals lower short probability. The dollar index is showing relative weakness and trending lower. Shorting NQ into dollar weakness is a low probability trade, so my bias is staying long. Here we have the sell side, clear objective, clear drawn liquidity for the dollar index. And like I've been hammering home, as the dollar index goes lower, we're expecting pressure to be relieved on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, allowing for higher prices. And then our last lesson is entering beneath equilibrium, not in premium. If bullish, look to enter beneath the equilibrium of the range. Price has been trading at the highs all day, and entering in premium is not a quality setup. So one thing that I do want to note for today's session is longing down here, because this is exactly what we've been talking about. We want to be longing in discount down here and not up here in premium. So if our target is up here at buy side liquidity, there's this regular trading hours PM high, we want to be longing at equilibrium of this implied dealing range. So I can't take a fib right now, but if you took a fib from this low to the high of the Friday's regular trading hours buy side liquidity, you'll get midline probably right around here, and this will be your implied dealing range, and that'll be your discount in premium. We want to be longing in discount and shorting or selling in premium. So after this initial run on sell side and then inversion fair value gap, we really only had one more opportunity to long an inversion, and that was this candle right here. But as you can see, if we try longing anything, this fair value gap up here, and even this IFVG right here, these are all in premium. So these are more likely to get stopped out where you have a run on sell side before price runs higher, where the most premium entry, the most discount entry that we can have is below equilibrium of our range. So from this sell side right here to our PM Friday session high buy side liquidity, you take that implied dealing range, you want to be longing in discount of there. That's how you know you're getting discounted prices. So all of this up here is noise to me as far as longs, and I'm not interested in shorts, like I said, because of the relative weakness on the dollar index. So that was today's trade, or really today's session and market recap. It was no trade day for me. Felt very disciplined this morning. I knew exactly what I was looking for going into the market today, with no news Monday, and then especially without real clear manipulation beneath sell side liquidity and not generating any buy side on the way back down new sell side liquidity. Since we never got that opportunity, or since that never presented itself, it was just an easy no trade day for me. So I hope you guys have really been taking something from these reviews. These reviews not only allow me to show what I've been learning, but it also helps me become a better teacher and showing, what my journey is like going through this, my day-to-day process. Because as I'm learning and, putting my executions out there, I'm also becoming a better teacher. And I think that teaching allows you to become a better trader as well. So I really hope that you guys are taking something new from these reviews. And as always, I will talk to you guys next time, and trade safe.